mano-mano right now.
Yeah, you're right. They're trying to outdo each other.
Yeah, this is exciting. Back and forth action that we're seeing right now.
Barnes can't get it to go. The Cavaliers have gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Irving drives in. That's good.
And they're nearly perfect from the floor early on. 4 of their first 5 shots they've drained.
On defense, the Cavaliers. The pass to Reddick. There's the 3. Varejao comes up with the rebound.
Well, Anderson Varejao staying relatively healthy last season. That's to say he only missed 17 games. And that's a far cry from his previous 3 seasons where he played a total of just 81 games.
And here is Los Angeles now, following the score by Cleveland. It's tipped, stolen by Varejao. Here's Marion. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Shawn Marion with 15 years in the NBA, a very good 15 years, basically talked about retiring even though he was still playing well at the conclusion of last season. Although I guess he did have a change of heart.
And the Clippers making a change here. Crawford's checked in.
Well, that one miss shouldn't be too costly because he was able to make it a 2-possession lead at least. Not the best shot, long range and with a defender right in his space.
And defensively, that's the kind of work he's known for. I mean, he loves to lock you up.
And a wide open look for James. Cans it from downtown. James has got 8 points.
And Marion, a 4-time All-Star, one of the most athletic and versatile players in league history. Still an excellent role player, even after all these years.
And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here. And Marion has made a good chunk of change over his career. A lot of money. He said he wanted to walk away while he could still walk.
Yeah, well, he can walk, and his game certainly could still walk and talk. An excellent defender, an energy player, a stat sheet stuffer. I'm quite pleased that he hasn't decided to hang him up yet.
A chance to extend the lead to double digits, but it's no good. And there's the call on Kyrie Irving. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul, 2nd team foul.
On defense, Cleveland. They're leading by 8. Barnes passes to Crawford. Paul for 3.
Well, you look at what these guys have done on the offensive glass. They've got 3 points to show for it.
Lets the 3 fly, and LeBron gets it to go with the assist by Love. And 11 points for LeBron.
What a start they've gotten off to. A big lead for them, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
And it's not just their hot offense here. I mean, they're playing very strong defense too, guys.
Now Irving following Chris Paul's 3-point attempt. That one goes. Count it.
Their offense has really come together immediately, threatening to run away with this game.
It's hard to imagine they'll be able to stay as hot as they've been so far, but if they can, watch out. This touch has disappeared on him this quarter. He just hasn't been able to get it going.
With floor spacing, Steve, more important than ever in today's NBA, some have questioned the pairing of Griffin and Jordan in the Clipper front court.
Well, I think it's worked out just fine. I think they could add a stretch 4 behind those 2 guys and maybe mix him in during the rotations. But all in all, Griffin and Jordan have played awfully well together at both ends of the floor. He's just been the man since the start of this quarter. Just a tremendous period of basketball for him.
And the Clippers call time here.
And for the Clippers, their most potent offensive weapon is Chris Paul coming off the pick and roll and attacking with great ball handling skills and vision. You want to create space for that, but defense more often than not will look to bring help from the front court, and that's when things really open up for Paul in terms of his options.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Spencer Hawes is checked in for DeAndre Jordan. Davis comes in for Matt Barnes. Turkoglu's checked in for J.J. Redick. And it's Farmar in for Chris Paul. Now here's Crawford. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change.
In terms of rebounding, it's been a sensational opening quarter.
I like sensational. That's a good word for it.
And Waiters kicks to Love. It's stolen by Davis.
You know, one reason they're on top right now is that they haven't done a whole lot of what just happened there. Only a couple times have they given the ball away.
The Cavaliers leading by 15, and the whistle blows. He decides to foul intentionally for some reason. Odd.
I'm not sure why you would foul right there. You know, that's obviously not the smart thing to do, so a mistake there.
Dion Waiters going into last season working on playing off the ball, whether, catch and shoot, Steve, or coming off screens.
Yeah, he's most comfortable with the ball in his hands, but playing alongside Kyrie Irving, he's got to be more effective without the ball, working off those screens and learning to play with her.
Now, here is Miller after the miss from Crawford. One-on-one here. That's in there. Davis with the assist.
Not trying to rattle any rims or racks there. Just up and in with the finger roll. And Waiters really has tried to emphasize staying on balance with his shot. Taking better shots, better quality shots within the offense. We saw the results. There was an uptick in his percentages from the field and from long range as well.
The offense just getting right to the rim, but at least they saved the layup with the foul.
That's old school basketball rules. I mean, at the end of the day, no easy layups. Earn it from the line.
And Waiters still a volume scorer. To improve his efficiency, he's got to get that free throw percentage back up and become more consistent finishing inside. But he's a natural scorer. He certainly has the talent.
Good on the second free throw.
Well, every time these two teams face off, it is Battle Los Angeles. For so long, the Lakers have really owned the city. But the Clippers looking to make up for lost time right now.
Clippers trail by 12. And stolen by Kyrie Irving. Here's Love, and he bangs it home with one hand.
Carving out some space and eating a little glass at the offensive end while he's doing it.
You got it with a ferocious follow.
Yeah, but just another day at the office for him. That's what he does.
Stolen by Thompson. Here's Miller. The second effort. And the layup good by Love.
They have to box out better than that. I mean, that putback is just another example of the difference between these two teams today.
And it's good, but hold on. The officials may want to look at that one on the replay monitor. And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
And I know some people are still opposed to using replay in situations where the call doesn't have a direct effect on the outcome of the game. But I think it has to be used if there's a questionable call, no matter what it is.
Now, I understand the argument against it. It does interrupt the flow of the game a little bit, but it's hard to stand by and simply let an incorrect.
And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. Cavaliers lead by 16. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And we welcome you back to the NBA here on 2K Sports. If you're just tuning in, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And we're ready to get going once more. The players having a chance to have a short break and get some rest themselves and get refueled and hydrated with some Gatorade. More terrific basketball in store for us tonight. And a moment now to quickly take a look at the offensive approach for the Cavaliers.
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
And the other thing we're seeing is great ball movement. We're seeing a lot of good offensive execution, ball movement, player movement, setting up assists.
So on the floor for Cleveland, Thompson and Varejao at the 4 and 5. Irving is out there with Harris, and it's LeBron in at the 3, the small forward. On the wing, Irving. Hawes with the block. They recover it. Kicks it out to James. It's hauled in by the Clippers.
Great defense there. You really have to challenge him at that range.
How do you do that?
Filthy, just pure filthiness. Filthy to the 5th degree.
I'm filthy listening to you say filthy. How's that for a show? Holy smokes.
Oh, man.
Los Angeles calls timeout. So for the Clippers, DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Hawes. Barnes comes in for Hedo Turkoglu. And Paul subbed in for Jordan Farmar. Sean Marion is checked in for the Cavaliers.
Bit of a controversial statement last year when LeBron said that there are no longer any real rivalries in the NBA. It seemed off at first, but he might have a point.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should really continue to work it down low, Clark. That's really going to free up the rest of their offense.
And the basket by Harris.
Boy, nice work inside. Tough to get that shot over a big defender like that.
No, that takes skill and creativity, Steve, particularly on the release to make sure he doesn't get a hand on it.
And the logic LeBron used in making that rivalry statement was that all of these players, Clark, have known each other for so long, coming up through amateur tournaments, AAU and the like.
And not to mention, Kevin, that with how free agency is structured now, there's a lot more player movement going on. Still, I can't get 100% on board with what he said because there are teams that clearly don't like each other.
Out of bounds, Cleveland will take possession.
19 seconds left.
And so it's Cleveland with it. Varejao dishes to LeBron. Jacks up a three. Irving kicks to Varejao. LeBron outside. LeBron left side. Another shot. And he hits the jump shot. James has got 6 here in this quarter.
You know, he's putting on an outstanding offensive display, and he may just be getting warmed up here.
Griffin's shot is off.
Boy, they've really dominated on the glass, and of course they've done a lot of good things here tonight, but the rebounds have played a major factor.
Hey, Steve, you know rebounding always one of the key barometers in determining the victor.
Redick passes to Griffin.
Blake Griffin, arguably the top posterizer in the game. Opponents don't like being embarrassed, and they'll take a hard foul on him if need be. Some have said that Griffin needs to retaliate for his own well-being. He's got to go back at some of those guys.
And Griffin has said he thought about retaliating for the hard fouls, but he said, Steve, you know, it might be best for me, but getting suspended would be very bad for my team. He had his head on straight, obvious.
Well, yeah, credit him for trying to keep his cool and not get caught up in the moment. But understand that there's always a two-way street. He oftentimes initiates the contact, and he's such a physical player that he's always going to get caught up and tangled up with other players.
Redick for 3. Rebounded by Marion. Marion's got his 4th rebound in this one. Varejao dishes to Irving. Lots of room. And he gets it to go. Irving's got 8. And here is Los Angeles now. Down by 15. Jordan. That's short off the rim.
You know, that's a problem he has. I mean, not being able to knock down that open jumper. I think it happens far too often.
And James gets it to go. James has got 21 in the game.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
Got that one up quick. So timeout called here, the first for Cleveland.
Well, when you talk about vocal leaders among NBA players, you'd have to put Chris Paul right at the top of the list. Always talking, a coach on the floor, but also makes his teammates better.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Glenn Davis is checked in for Barnes, and it's Crawford in for J.J. Redick. Then for the Cavaliers, Love checked in for Varejao. Miller comes in for Harris, and it's Waiters in for Kyrie Irving.
And you know, Chris Paul is what looks to be a natural leader. You take a look at him being elected the president of the NBA's Players Union, I think that indicates the respect he has on both sides of the aisle, with his peers, but also with those in management as well. Highly respected, not only because of his performance, but because of his character as well.
Man, a pleasure to watch him work at that end of the floor.
It's LeBron with the drive, and they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
You know, he's showing some kind of a killer instinct this quarter, trying to stretch this lead out.
And the Clippers making a change here. Hawes is checked in. The Cavaliers shooting their 5th attempt at the line in the game.
Well, they were 75% free throw shooting a season ago.
And Chris Paul not shy about voicing his opinion, Steve, when it comes to Clippers' decisions in the front office.
No, but that's healthy, particularly with his relationship with Doc Rivers. So, Paul was instrumental in acquiring Barnes and Jamal Crawford. And, look, when you have a star player, you should go to him for advice occasionally.
And it's Dion Waiters with the foul. That's his first foul. A different look for the Clippers.